December 1960. A letter arrives at the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. It is not a warning about birth defects. No one has discovered those yet. Instead, a physician reports something that seems almost trivial. Patients taking a new sedative have begun complaining about tingling fingers, numbness, burning sensations. Nothing more. A small observation, easy to overlook. Yet that letter becomes one of the reasons a drug never reaches pharmacy shelves across the United States. Not because anyone understood the catastrophe that was unfolding, but because it created just enough doubt to slow everything down. Most people remember this story as the triumph of one courageous reviewer. Butterfly Audit begins somewhere else, not with heroes, not with outcomes, but with a simple question. Why did history change here, and not somewhere else? Every day, decisions are made that never appear in the news. Applications are reviewed, forms are signed, questions are asked, deadlines expire. Most of them disappear without consequence. Occasionally, one of them quietly changes history, not because anyone realizes it at the time, but because a small interruption prevents something much larger from happening. September 1960, Washington, D.C. Frances Kelsey has worked at the FDA for barely a month. She is still learning the agency, still learning its procedures, still finding her way through stacks of unfamiliar applications. One file lands on her desk. Richardson Merrill wants permission to sell a sedative called Thalidomide. Across Europe, the same drug already has another name, Thalidomide. Doctors prescribe it confidently. Advertisements describe it as exceptionally safe. Many physicians consider it one of the safest medicines ever introduced. For most reviewers, the application probably looks routine. Kelsey begins reading. The toxicity studies seem surprisingly limited. Some claims appear stronger than the evidence supporting them. Questions remain unanswered, especially concerning long-term use, especially concerning pregnancy. She does not conclude the drug is dangerous. She reaches a different conclusion. She doesn't know enough. So instead of approving the application, she asks for more information. At first, Richardson Merrill isn't particularly concerned. Questions from regulators are normal. A reviewer requests clarification. The company responds. The paperwork continues. Approval follows. That's how the system is expected to work. Except this time, the questions don't stop. Kelsey asks for additional animal data. The company responds. She finds another gap. She requests manufacturing information. The company responds again. Another unanswered question. Every response moves the process forward and then stops it again. Inside Richardson Merrill, frustration begins to grow. Executives contact the FDA. Letters describe Kelsey as unnecessarily difficult, an obstacle, a reviewer delaying a medicine already trusted across Europe. Her supervisors ask her to justify her decisions. She does, carefully, line by line. She never claims the drug is dangerous. She simply argues that the evidence is incomplete, and incomplete evidence should not become certainty. Meanwhile, something else is happening. Without waiting for full approval, Richardson Merrill distributes millions of tablets to American physicians as investigational samples. Patients begin taking the drug. Some of them are pregnant. No one warns them about birth defects, because no one knows. Across Europe, thalidomide has earned a remarkable reputation. Laboratory animals survive enormous doses. Doctors interpret this as extraordinary safety. The medicine appears almost too safe to question. Then, in December, a letter arrives. Scottish physician A. Leslie Florence reports something unusual. Patients using thalidomide over longer periods are developing peripheral neuritis. Their hands begin tingling, then burning, then growing numb. The report says nothing about pregnancy, nothing about newborn children, nothing about malformed limbs. It describes an entirely different problem. But for the first time, there is documented evidence that the drug may not be as harmless as everyone believed. Kelsey reads the paper. She requests more information. Again, the application waits. And while the file remains on her desk, 4,000 miles away, a German pediatrician named Widukind Lenz begins noticing something impossible to ignore: rare limb deformities. Again, and again, and again. At first, they appear unrelated. Then a pattern slowly emerges. The mothers all have one thing in common: they took the same drug. History usually remembers outcomes. Butterfly Audit asks a different question: what actually changed the course of events? At first, the answer seems obvious. One determined reviewer refused to approve a drug. That explanation feels complete until you look more closely. Because courage alone doesn't explain why that decision had the power to change anything at all. So we keep looking. The evidence points somewhere unexpected. A medical letter describing tingling fingers. Not birth defects. Not the disaster itself. Just enough documented evidence to justify asking one more question, one more delay, one more review. Still, that isn't the whole story. Because a letter cannot stop a drug. Only a system can do that. And suddenly, something almost invisible comes into focus. A procedural rule. A mechanism that allowed uncertainty to interrupt momentum. Without it, the same questions may never have changed the outcome. None of these pieces explains history on its own. But together, they reveal something far more interesting than a single heroic moment. History didn't change because one person possessed perfect knowledge. It changed because incomplete evidence, careful judgment, and the structure of a system briefly aligned. Sometimes, history doesn't turn because someone finds the answer. Sometimes, it turns because someone refuses to accept an answer that isn't supported yet. By the time Richardson Merrill withdraws its application in 1962, the truth can no longer be ignored. Across Europe, thousands of children have been born with devastating limb deformities. Many are missing arms, many are missing legs, some have hands attached almost directly to their shoulders. A condition so rare only a few years earlier that many physicians had never encountered a single case. Now it is appearing again, and again, and again. Historians estimate that thalidomide caused severe birth defects in somewhere between 10 and 20,000 children worldwide. Many never survived infancy. Many who did grew up in a world that had never expected children like them. In the United States, the outcome was dramatically different. The drug was never approved for general sale. Only a small number of documented birth defects were linked to the investigational samples already distributed before the review ended. The difference is difficult to ignore, not because one country was wiser, not because one country was luckier, but because one decision arrived before another. And sometimes, timing changes everything. Looking back, it is tempting to believe the outcome was inevitable. It wasn't. At every stage, people acted with incomplete information. No one at the FDA knew the catastrophe unfolding across Europe. Frances Kelsey did not delay the application because she had discovered birth defects. She delayed it because the evidence before her was not yet strong enough. That distinction matters. History is often remembered through certainty. It is actually lived through uncertainty. And sometimes, the most important decision is not knowing the answer. It is refusing to act before the evidence is ready. This was today's Butterfly Audit. History isn't just a story, it's a system. Our mission is to uncover the strongest explanation the evidence can support. Somewhere, right now, another application is being reviewed. Another deadline is approaching. Another decision is waiting for someone with incomplete information. History may never remember their name. It rarely does. But years from now, people may only see the outcome. They may never notice the quiet decision that made it possible. Those are the moments we search for, because history doesn't always change with the loudest event. Sometimes, it changes with the smallest interruption. And in the next episode, a single message began one of the longest journeys in history. It carried a warning that might have prevented catastrophe. When it finally arrived, it was exactly 1 hour too late.